Let's take a look at this problem now. It says solve the triangle. So that simply means we have to find all the unknown sides and angles of this triangle. So first off, I notice there's this angle B that we don't know. And there's this side here that we don't know. We're going to call it A. And this one here that we're going to call B. Now keep in mind, when these sides are labeled, it's always opposite. So what I mean by that is the capital letter will be the angle, and the side opposite that angle is going to be the lowercase letter. So capital B, little b in this way. So that's why I labeled A and B like I did. And that's angle B there. So first we're going to find angle B. So that means we're just going to take the 115.5 degrees plus the 27.2 degrees and add them, and we get 147. Actually 142.7 degrees. Then I just take that 180 degrees and I subtract the 142.7 degrees, and we get 37.3 degrees. Now again, we get this because we know the sum of all the angles of the triangle are equal to 180 degrees. So my angle B then turns out to be 37.3 degrees. So that's where that 180 comes from. So just kind of keep that in mind. We're going to use that a lot for a lot of these solving the triangle problems. So now we're going to get into finding the sides, but we're going to use the law of sines for this. Okay, so think about this. I have to have a side and an angle opposite the side that I know. So notice this, I have these two here. So I'm going to use those two, and you'll see what I mean by how I have to have an angle and a side opposite the angle. So this sine of 115.5 degrees equals, oops, I forgot the bottom, 76 equals, now I'm going to find out that side B first, so I'm going to use this one here. So I'm going to need the sine of 37.3 degrees over B, because I don't know the B, the bottom there, which is the side. Okay, so now from here, notice I needed to know at least 3 pieces of information. So this gives me the 2, and then I know this one, so that was the 3rd. So essentially for any of these, I have to know 3 pieces of information out of the 4 in order to solve for the unknown. So that's why I picked the angle in side C. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now what we're going to do from here is we're just going to cross multiply. So here it is. So another thing to keep in mind here is the sine of 115.5 degrees and the sine of 37.3 degrees. I don't really know those exactly. So we're going to use our calculator for those. So just make sure you're mindful of the mode. It has to be in degrees in order for this to work. So when you punch those in, you're going to get some decimal approximations. So don't drop any digits. Make sure when you do these calculations, you just cut and paste the values, because the homework will mark it wrong. So I plugged all those digits in my calculator, and this is what I got. And I put the 3 dots just to emphasize that it keeps going, just so that you guys can compare your answers to what I have here. Now my final step, what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to take this 0.90258 ... and just divide it by both sides. And I just signify it that way because I don't want you to drop any of the digits when you actually go through this process. So we end up with this as our answer. Now keep in mind here, if you look at the sides here, it says 76.0. So that's indicating that they want us to round to the nearest tenth. Even though they don't say it in the problem, that's what they're inferring by writing the digits this way. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so then our final answer then would be 51.0, because if I'm rounding to this digit here, I look to the right and it's less than 5, so I keep it the same. So this would be 51 feet, and this would be my side B. So there's my second piece. Now we still have one more side to find. Now be careful, because we do know two sides of this triangle, and some of you might think, hey, we can use a Pythagorean theorem. But this is not a right triangle. I can only use the Pythagorean theorem when I'm dealing with a right triangle. So we have to use the law of sines to find this third side here. So to find A, we're going to have to do the same thing we did for this one. So I'm just going to use the sine of 115 degrees over 76 again. I could use the new sides and stuff I found, but I'm going to use this one because I already have all those calculations in my calculator, and I can just use those to help me here. So now I'm just going to do the cross multiplication. And now I'm going to find the decimal approximations of the 115.5 degrees. So again, my calculator is in degrees, so I'm going to find these values. And now I'm going to divide by the 0.9025 ... both sides. And my A equals 38.488819 blah blah blah, which equals, because we're approximating here, 38.5 feet. So all three values here, I have my little a here. Now I'll have to put them all together. I have my B equaling 51 feet, and then I have my angle B equaling 37.3. So there's the final answer for this problem.